my chips. I'm getting rich. Running up digits, counting up 6 stacks. My money flipping, let's take a trip. Splash. Standing on business, tycoon rich. I'm rich. Look at my chips. Yeah. I'm getting rich. Running up digits, counting up 6. My money flipping, let's take a trip. Splash. Standing on business, tycoon rich.
All right. Great morning. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Happy Tuesday. We are trickling down towards the end of the year where our trading is going to kind of slow down a little bit. So we will be live for the rest of to the end of November. And then when December hits, we will take a trading sabbatical and review and basically come back in January, the beginning of January. So, let's go over the market. Let's see what we have for today. So, as we all know, we always go over what we trade, then we talk about how we trade it. And then we go to the actual chart to see if there's opportunities to actually make some moves. All right, so let's see what we trade. So we trade the NASDAQ, which is a globally recognized index of 100 of the most innovative large cap companies listed on the NASDAQ stock market. The NASDAQ has been going crazy for the past couple of days. It's been soaring like crazy. We're going to look at it when we go to the charts. But these are some of the companies that are comprised. We have Apple, we have Exxon, we have Adobe, Microsoft, Paychex, Intel, Monster, Comcast. So these are Ross, right? These are all of the companies that we are familiar with that are comprised within the NASDAQ index. And these are just some of the few, right? You got Warner Brothers, from large pharmaceutical companies like Vertex and Cisco Systems. So it's a lot of different companies that are comprised within this index that we trade the performance of. Okay, and we have a very simple strategy that helps us to determine what type of trade we should be getting in. Now, with that being said, we're going to take a look at the strategy, right? We're going to talk about how do we actually know when to get in a trade, what to look for, etc., etc. Okay, so when we look at the market, okay, we always try to secure our profits and reduce our losses. All right, quick little disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. This is solely for educational purposes. Okay, so you can read that at your own leisure. Now, let's get into our strategy. So, with our strategy, we have to understand that there is something called directional bias. And so with the directional bias, you want to determine what type of trade you're looking for. You can't just hop into the market and say, "Oh, I want to do a buy today. I feel like taking a buy today, or I feel like taking a sell." You have to have some type of strategy and logic behind what you're doing. So with the directional bias, it's quite simple. We use something called the 200 EMA to help us to determine our directional bias. So if the 200 EMA, which is this blue line here, is moving up, okay, then we're looking for a buy. Very simple. When that blue line, that 200 EMA is moving up, we're looking for a buy. Okay. When that 200 EMA is moving down, like a down slope, we're looking for a sell. Okay, we're looking for sells. Sells, we want the market to go down. Buys, we want the market to go up. Okay. When the market is moving sideways, we typically don't really, you can still capitalize off of this for sure, right? When the market is moving sideways, we want to look for pivotal support and resistance levels in the market to enter on buys and sells. So at support, at the bottom here, we want the market to go up. Okay, we're looking for buys. At resistance, we're looking for sells at the top here when the market goes down. So you'll see that it repeats the pattern time and time again at these significant levels because the market is ranging, and you can see the 200 is moving sideways. Okay, So that's how we look at our directional bias. So when we look at the chart, we're going to say, okay, well, what's our directional bias for today? What is the 200 telling us? Where's our 20? If our 20, which is this white line here, if it's above the 200, we're looking for buys. If our 20, which is below the 200, then we're looking for sales. Very simple. Very simple. Okay? So that's step one. Now, step two, we have to look for something. So now that we know what we're looking for, now we got to know, when do we actually take the trade, right? What patterns are we looking for to take that trade? And so one of those patterns that is very significant with NASDAQ and other indices and strong pairs like it is called the BPC. The BPC is your breakout, pullback, continuation. Breakout, pullback, continuation. Okay, so we determine our directional bias. We use a 15-minute chart for that. We use a 15-minute chart to determine our directional bias. After we determine our directional bias off the 15-minute chart, we then look for the bullish BPC. So let's say, for instance, if the 200 is moving up, we look for a bullish BPC. If the 200 is moving down and the 20 is beneath the 200, we're looking for a bearish BPC. So in this case here, right, with a bullish BPC, in this example here, we want price to break the nearest level of resistance, which is here, right? Break resistance. So this is our breakout, right? Price breaks out of that, right? Then we get a pullback back to that same level. So now, instead of it using it as resistance, it's using it as support. Okay, so that red candle pulls back to this candle here, and then we get continuation that closes above our pullback level. That's very important. Continuation should close above our pullback level. When it closes above our pullback level, we enter the trade and we look for that continuation. We're looking for this setup. We're looking for this pattern on the 1-minute chart, guys. So our directional bias is determined on the 15-minute chart, and our entry is determined on the 1-minute chart. And we set our stop loss and take profits based on the 5-minute. Okay. So, I'm sorry, our stop loss based on the 5-minute. So with our bearish BPC, it's the opposite. We want price to break through support. Okay, this red candle here broke out, right? Broke through this level. Pull back to that area, uses as resistance now instead of support, and then the continuation closes beneath our support level. So breakout, pull back, continuation. Breakout, pull back, continuation. Okay, so those are the patterns that we're looking for when we look at our strategy here. All right, so let's go to, let's check. Always you want to check to make sure that there's no news that's occurring during the time you're trading. Today we just have a couple of orange folders here. All right, we know that the U.S. government data may be impacted, from the shutdown and everything like that. So there's a lot of things moving in our economy. Okay, so nothing major right now when it comes to the news. So let's go to the chart and let's see what we have for today. Let's take a look at it. So yesterday, okay, and I left it up here like this for a reason, so we can kind of go over that. Yesterday we got into a buy. Our buy zone, this was our sell zone. We know if our sell zone, it should be at least, and price was down here a little bit, but it should break through the 200 in the next key level. Well, price gave us a BPC at this level here. Okay, we can even see the BPC on the 15-minute chart as well, right? Price came here, it broke out, pulled back, and then gave us that nice continuation. And look at what happened. We got that nice continuation to the upside, and price is still moving. All right, so NASDAQ is creating all-time highs after all-time highs. So whenever you want to always make sure you have your key level set before you do anything. If you wouldn't get into a car without brakes, then you would not trade without key levels. Okay, that's extremely important. Extremely important. So we're going to go ahead and set our key levels for today. All right, and then we're going to set our buy zones and our sell zones. So today, our buy zone is going to be at this 25 917 level. Now, what is our 200 doing? Our 200 is moving up. Where's our 20? Right here. Our 20 is above the 200. That means our directional bias for today is what? A buy. We're looking for a buy. Okay. Now, price reverses and we see something different, then we objective. But that's what we're looking for today. Now, our sell zone needs to break through this 200 here. It needs to break through this 200 EMA and then break through the next key level, breakout, pullback, continuation before we determine it's ready for a sell. All of the momentum of the market right now is moving up. So we need to know for sure that if price reverses, the sellers are truly in control and this is just not a pullback, a strong pullback. Okay? We know that 200 is a magnet. So if it breaks through the 200 and breaks through the next key level, we know that the sellers have some type of momentum to move the market. Okay, because the 200 EMA shows us a reflection of the market from the past 200 candles. Where is the market trying to go? Look at this. We can clearly see it's trying to move up. It's trying to move up. So how do we determine if when we get in? We look for our BPC past our buy zone. Our sell zone is going to be here at the 25,560 level. If price breaks through this level, we look for a sell. Now, if we get a reversal here, we'll probably have to set some alerts for a possible sell later in the day. But if we do get that opportunity where we break out again, like we did yesterday, so shout out to everybody that got into that trade. You definitely you definitely won that trade. You basically won that trade. So in this case here, if we break through past the 200, right, and we get that sell, it's probably going to take some time to do that. So if we don't get into a buy in our session, we're probably not going to hop into a trade today. So we'll see what NAS wants to do. We'll see if it wants to continue to push through. Sometimes NAS acts instantly, and then sometimes NAS takes some time to figure out what it wants to do, and then sometimes it moves sideways, just like every other pair. All right, so that's where we are. We have about 1:30 until the market opens. And let's see what we get for today. So great morning to everybody that's joined and for locking in. Let's see if we can catch another W today, guys. Let's see if we can catch another W today. All right, let's do that. So let's go back here. And we did get a couple of alerts here. If NAS starts to move, so we'll take a peek at some of the alerts that came in, guys. As of right now, we're going to keep our focus on NAS and see what happens. Okay, 50 seconds, guys, until the market opens. 50 seconds. Here we go. 50 seconds. 50 seconds. See what we get for today. Let's see what we get. Okay. Let's see what we get. We got to be patient. Wait for our setup to come into fruition. And then we take advantage of what is going on. Okay. So that's extremely important here. All right. So here we go. 15 seconds, guys. Based on the way the price is looking right now, I mean, it looks like it wants to try to break through. But again, it's market open, so it can move any way at any point. So we just have to be objective and see what's going on here. Let me tighten this up a little bit. All right, guys, market is open. Let's see what we get for today. If we break through here, all right, so now I'm going to my 1 minute because we're already breaking through. All right, so I'm going to my 1 minute chart here. Okay, so this candle is breaking out of our most recent level of resistance. If the body of this candle closes above this level, that is considered a valid breakout. Okay, that's considered a valid breakout. All right, so it's looking pretty good right now. Let's see how it closes, right? You never want to enter a trade based on the candle, the way it looks when it's still trying to figure out what it wants to do. If the candle has not closed, you do not make a definitive decision based on that. Okay, let the candle close. Because it's been plenty of times where candles will start off strong, but then they will finish in the opposite direction. So just be patient. All right, we got a clear breakout here, guys. We got a clear breakout. Let's see if we can get a pullback. Sometimes our breakouts are multiple candles. Okay, so we have to be cognitive of that. So this is still our breakout right here. Okay, very nice candle. Very nice movement. I like what I see. So there's our breakout. So now we need our pullback, guys. We need our pullback. Remember, if we don't get all three confluences, we are not hopping in. Great morning, Sylvester. Great morning. Always glad to have you on board. Always glad to have you online, Sylvester. Always good. All right, so here we go. Let's see if we can get through this here. All right. Let's see if this candle closes strong, which it looks like it will. If it closes strong, now the next candle we need is for the next candle to at least pull back beneath this candle or in the opposite direction. All right, so we got a candle here, guys. That's what we wanted to see, some type of pullback. Now that we have a determined pullback candle, right? We got to wait to see where it closes, and then we mark our level for our continuation to close above that. Okay, and I'll explain that in a minute after this candle closes. But this is definitely our pullback candle. The pullback candle will not always be in the opposite color. Okay, as long as we see some type of motion where price is trying to pull back from going up, then that's how we can determine that. And the reason why the pullback is so important, because sometimes price will fake out here and then come all the way back down in reverse. So the pullback lets us know, is price going to reverse, or is it just using it as support or resistance? And that's why the pullback is essential. Okay, so there's our pullback. So now all we need at this point, guys, is for price. So here's pullback level right here. Let me get this out the way here. Our pullback level is right here. Okay. So if we can get price to close above level, then I'm going to enter the trade. I need price to close above my pullback level. Then that gives me the signal that I can enter the trade. Until then, I remain patient, because we don't want price to reverse and come all the way back down and we roll it. Now, does it always work out that way? No, it doesn't. But majority of the time it does. Okay, and so we just have to wait and see what the market wants to do. Okay, very, very important here. Let's see what this next candle does. Are we going to get past here? Let's see if this candle can break past this area. And sometimes your pullbacks will be multiple candles. As long as it uses that previous level, it stays in this area here. It might come down a little bit, but as long as it doesn't come all the way down here, we still have a valid pullback. And right now, our pullback is very much valid. So we'll see how it closes, though. Remember, we always wait until the candle closes. Do not get into trades if the candle has not closed. Right? Do not get into trades if the candle has not closed. That's not a wise decision. All right, so we got 10 seconds. You don't have to be anxious. You don't have to be impulsive. Just let it come to you. Relax. Take your time. Be patient. And let it come to you. All right, we're into our next candle here. Let's see if we can get some continuation to the upside and see what happens. And hopefully this isn't a reversal here, right? Because that could be, remember, I was talking about the fake out that you could possibly get by getting in too soon. So we need all of our confirmations before we enter the trade. All right, all of our confirmations before we enter the trade. That's extremely important. Extremely important. So let's see what we get here. Okay, I'm liking what I'm seeing. This wick right here is telling me that there are some buyers here trying to keep price at or above this level. But again, we got to see how it closes. We have to see how it closes. All right, we have 10 seconds left on this candle, and we are coming down, guys. We are coming down. Now, if price breaks past our buy zone, then yeah, it's just, we just might not be able to enter the trade during this session. But if we stay within our buy zone, and the buyers can find a way to push price back up past our level here, our pullback level, then for sure we'll enter the trade. Okay? So, excellent, guys. Excellent stuff. Okay? And if you guys have questions, please feel free to ask. This is an open platform where you guys can ask questions. All right? But we are getting some pushback here, so let's see if we can catch a buy, y'all. Let's see if we can catch a buy. I like what I'm seeing. The buyers are finding support now. Now, here's going to be the ultimate test. Because we know that now that we know that there's sellers, right? There's clearly sellers sitting at this level right here. So here's the test. When we get back, or if we get back up to this area, will we get rejected again? And we form what we call a double top, or M? Or will we get here when price pulled back and then we break through to the upside? These are the two patterns that I'm looking for. Okay? Those are the patterns that I'm looking for. So we'll see. Because right now what I'm seeing here is price can probably be trying to form a double bottom to come back up to the upside. Right? So it comes down, up, down, finds support again, and then moves to the upside. So we'll see. We'll see what price wants to do. But right now, we just have to be patient and let it take its course. Okay? Let it take its course. So we have, what is it? 4 seconds left on this candle. Not bad. Not bad. Look at the wick on that candle. Okay? Look at this wick right here on this candle right here. When you see wicks at the top or the bottom of the candle, when it's at the bottom of the candle, that tells you that there might be some support there. When the wick is at the top of the candle, that tells you that there might be some resistance, right? There might be some resistance where price is trying to move down. And the candle might look like this, okay? So that's what we're looking for. So let's see if we can catch a good trade before the session ends today, guys. I would love to catch a trade with you all, so we can make it happen, guys. Okay? Let's see what we get here. All right, finding some support here. Let's see, finding some support. Let's see what we get here. Can we get into a buy? What y'all think? Y'all think we're going to get to a buy today? I think we can get into a buy. I think we can get into a buy. As long as Nas want to act right. This power trading is being patient. If you can be patient, you're going to be successful than most traders, because most traders are anxious and impulsive. You don't want to do that. That's the quickest way to lose your money. Quickest way. So hopefully Nas doesn't get stuck at this area right here. Catch a wave real quick. But right now, I don't know. We could be fine. We could be forming a double bottom. We'll see. We'll see. Great morning, everybody that's locked in with me. Great morning, everybody. Let's see if we can catch a buy, y'all. We start heading towards that level, that yellow line that I marked off. We might be in good shape. We might be in some good shape. When we get in, I like to look at, let me go ahead and try to determine what possible stop loss I would like. So I'm on my 5 minute here. And I like to kind of go 3 levels down for my stop loss on the 5 minute, right? So We have one level here because this is where we'll probably enter. So one level here, one level here, and then we have one level here. So my stop loss will probably be at 25,879. I'm just going to go ahead and mark that off right there. 25,880 just to make it even. Okay, for my stop loss. All right, let's go back to the 1 minute and see what we got going on here. Let me see. Hold on. Let's see. Our 200 is pretty far away today for our 5 minute. And I would actually I'm going to get a little bit more space here. And we're going to come down here to 25,854. I think that's a solid area right there. 25,854 for possible stop loss. Okay, 25,854. All right, we got 6 seconds left on this candle. Let's see if this next candle following can push us to where we need to go. Let's see if we can go where we need to go, guys. Are the buyers in control today? Let's see. All we need is for price to break past here. We need a clean break too. We don't need one of them little small, short, weak breaks. We need a clean break past here before we enter anything. Okay? Before we enter anything, that's what we need. That is what we need. All right. Let's see what we can get here, y'all. Let's see. Here we go. Here we go. Not bad. Not bad. Let's see if we can keep pushing up. We got about 10 minutes left for the session, guys. 10 minutes left. Let's see what we can get. We getting closer, though. We are definitely getting closer. I feel a good possible entry. As long as we don't come down again. That's what we need. They fighting right. They are definitely fighting. Let's see. We got to break through here. Now, if we have to set our alerts, it's going to be past that yellow line and then at our sell zone. But I think we might be able to do something before we hop off. Let's see. Let's see, guys. Let's see. I don't know. We might be making a double top here. Might be coming down to the downside. Just gonna be patient. Let it close. Everybody that's locked in with me again, thank you for joining. Always appreciate y'all. As I mentioned earlier, when we get to the beginning of December, the live sessions will be coming to a cease until the beginning of the next year, 6th January. So we will be locked in between now and the beginning of January. So we'll get it done. We'll get it done. For everybody that's locked in as students, you guys already know what we are. The system that we're running for you all. So you guys definitely take advantage of that between now and the end. Okay, right now it looks like it's trying to come down, but the buyers are trying the price here, but I don't know if they're gonna be too. But we'll see. We're gonna get this thing a couple of more minutes, guys, and see if we can get back to where we need to be. And the BPC is so important, because if you would have just entered just the strength of these candles, you probably would have out or be in next drawdown right now. And not saying that it wouldn't happen with regular BPC, but it helps avoid sitting in trades that you don't know which way it's going to move, right? So now we're coming down, and you don't want to be in this position if you don't have to. At least majority of the time. It's trying to break through our buy zone right here, guys. If it breaks through the buy zone, we're going to go ahead and set our alerts and see if we can get an opportunity later today. But right now, price is struggling to get back up here. It is. The sellers are like, all right, the bulls have done enough. We have to start. It's time for the bears to come back into the equation. So we'll see. We'll see. It's 9:50, just about. Let's see if we can grab something in a couple of minutes here. Hope you guys are having a really Tuesday morning. Starting your morning off with trading is pretty awesome. Get into the market. Get into the market, guys. All right, so what we're going to do, because now price is starting to slow down, we're going to go ahead and set our alerts. I'm setting my buy alert here. And remember, the alert is just to tell you that price is at this area. That does not mean to just enter the trade. You still want to look for your BPC again now when it passes this area, because it had to go through pushback to get back up. So here's my alert here, okay, at the 25,951 level. And then my sell zone alert is going to be down here at the 25,541 level. All right, so if price gets there and then I see another BPC, I will enter, and I will also post it in our chat. We will go from there. We do not force any trades. We do not force any, or it's not. Some days are not trading days, and it's okay, at least when it comes to this specific pair. So that is all, and let's keep growing, and let's keep. All right, I'll talk to y'all soon. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Catch y'all